retention of existing employment. Anyway, I'm here. It's closer to 300 employees on this industrial estate, and it's the only industrial road site in Portishead. And the jobs on that are mainly full-time, mostly highly skilled, and generally highly paid, compared with retail, leisure, bars, restaurants and cafes, as proposed by the developers Standard Life. As a supplier to these types of businesses, we know that these enterprises are mainly part-time, low-paid and low-skilled. A recruitment company we used recently sent us some figures. 14,000 people leave North Somerset every day to work outside the region. I assume those ones came from North Somerset. And high earners are moving out of North Somerset for those higher paid jobs. And I have that document here. With these facts, the development of Oldham Road is not conducive to the efforts of North Somerset Council to maintain and reverse employment of skilled workers leaving the region. Speaking for my own company, we employ 47 people. We have 8 in the product and marketing department, 3 of which have design degrees. This is central to our business. We have 2 fluent in languages for our export department. We have a head of compliance and technical development that you have to have these days if you're supplying the retail trade. And we have another person for technical drawing, and we have many other skill jobs. The developers claim, and I quote, to create an appropriate mix. Well, what is appropriate? A more efficient use of the site, creating a greater number of jobs. Greater than what? Across a range of sectors. That's what they're saying. The developers do not and cannot create jobs or guarantee employment. They can only produce the opportunities, except these are in the area of retail, leisure, bars, restaurants, and cafes, areas dominated by part-time, low-skilled, and low-paid employment. The retail world's changed. The internet is taking over with huge growth over the next 10 years. There is already mixed use on the site, lots of different styles of company, providing a superior level of employment than that proposed by the developers. This development would change the only industrial site within Portishead, as I said, with no other benefits. The old Mill Road site is included in the safeguarded sites, but the developers are claiming that they will provide more employment, but not full-time skilled work. Both multiple and independent retailers are closing retail outlets at unprecedented levels. We see that in the press all the time, particularly the financial press. Mainly because consumers are rapidly moving to the internet. Also, recent news this month, even the buoyant catering industry has felt that there are too many cafes and restaurants of all types, and some groups are beginning to rationalise their portfolios. The developers claim that they can retain or increase the amount and quality of public car parking spaces on the site, and at the same time increase employment. This cannot be possible because Old Mill Road has cars parked on the road already, and that all the sites in front of the warehouses are full, so people are having to use the road. Add to this some private dwelling houses, and we'll see there won't be enough space for any visiting consumers. With all the projects that the developers promise, including the cinema, I mean, this is being proposed. The cinema isn't going to happen because 15 minutes away we have Briggs Causeway with the multiplex, and 15 minutes away, Cleveland, there's a specialist cinema. The developers also claim to be working with the council to find alternative business sites. Is that true? I don't believe it. There is also no realistic value in that statement whatsoever. And we've heard there's no demand. But there actually is demand if this development went ahead. The Old Mill Road businesses would be unlikely to return. Having left, we're not going to come back again. And what do they do during the construction period? And how do they amortise investment, we have spent over 1.1 million over our 40 years in the internal infrastructure of our place. It's in our accounts, and again I've got a document showing that page of our accounts. And as Claire Cleeves has said, she spent 300,000. All of us have spent a lot of money, how is that going to be compensated? Not at all. I've lived in Portishead since 1998 and watched the many new properties being built. There's been very little addition to the infrastructure, as it's already been said, especially parking. Support to fund this infrastructure should come from the developing companies, and there is already considerable strain, as everyone knows, probably every country, for school places and medical centres. There's been no additional parking provided, and yet we heard from 9 million to 25 million. So the incentive to park in Portishead is becoming more and more difficult. And the congestion is unacceptable. More houses will merely exacerbate the problem. And further, as I said, it's not the sort of development proposed that meets the needs of a post-Brexit UK or North Somerset. The developers claim that they would be expected by the council to replicate the high standard of urban development and public realm that has been achieved at the north of the site around the marina. Well, I drive down there quite a lot, and this new section is blocked by parked cars, and 2 cars can't park. And this is a new development. It's not a town built when horses were, this part is, when horses were the mode of transport. The developers, have declared in their submission that the area is tired and needs change. Well, up to a point, yes. We entered these new premises in 1978, and there has been no investment. Standard Life are recent owners, it was Sun Life before, and there's been no investment on that site in the 40-odd years we've been there. So it's not just 5 years, it's 40 years. And it does look tired. It does need brightening up a bit. And I think if the developers have worked with the council, it could look a very nice estate, and they could have probably enjoyed higher rents. In the hearing statement, April 2017, reference CS 10, North Somerset Site Allocations, Plan Examination, item 53, the council declares it is vital that existing, occupied and thriving business parks and commercial locations are maintained. Any policy mechanism that seeks to alter the status of safeguarded sites would not be supported, as it will undermine the long-term growth prospects of Portishead. This statement is common sense, and the council should be supported by central government to ensure the best results for sound employment. There is a level of repetition in this statement, but I've tried to offer different perspectives, different angles of the problem posed to a large group of people, including the councillors and their officers, to maintain a sound basis in managing planning